I actually have found a noteworthy event of George Washington's presidency, to my surprise, because I could not think of any policy of his as a president. In 1791, there was an excise tax passed on whiskey distillers, particularly smaller ones, who may have suspected that this was a very wealthy whiskey distiller. Washington, trying to push them out of business, formed a small rebellious group and stood up in opposition to the federal government. Washington didn't have the federal army to do it, so he activated the local militias, put them under federal authority, went out to go out and dispersed what's called the Whiskey Rebellion. This is George Washington's most significant domestic event as president. It took me a while to find this, but it was to federalize the militias in Virginia and states like Virginia and Pennsylvania in order to enforce a tax on the production of whiskey that was being protested by a local organized group that called themselves the Whiskey Rebellion. There's really not very much on the other record of him doing anything domestic for the 8 years of his presidency. So there you go. George Washington, tax writer, federalizer of local militias, man who sends forces and troops like Branch Davidian style against protesters to impose taxes on the population. And you see this, and so why are the Tea Party people having such a boner about this man? I mean, he was a military commander. That's what he really was. He was the man who won the American Revolution. And that tells you a lot about the militarism and the authoritarianism. And this is really a group that says they want democracy and freedom, but always do feel a bit more comfortable with authoritarianism and militarism, patriarchy, family control. Washington was rich. Washington was white. Washington was a military man. The fact that he actually wasn't anything that they're imagining, they don't care, because he's also long dead, long gone, long forgotten. I would challenge any Tea Party person you ever meet to tell you one policy that he had. You'd probably hear something moronic like he supported constitutionalism, whatever the cousin fuckers tend to say. I'm afraid I don't have to say I don't have the privilege of meeting very many personally, unfortunately for myself. But if you do encounter one of these people, do ask them about the Whiskey Revolt of 1791. Ask them what they thought about a president who would federalize state militias and take those state militias and use them to disperse people who were protesting the imposition of a new tax, a federal tax, upon the states. I assure you, it will be like asking a Scientologist who Zeno was.